Hey guys, I just wanted to talk to you about the Venn diagram question, option number 3. I think this was the most challenging of the discussion questions, so I just wanted to go through how I would approach this problem in case you encounter anything on your homework like this and you need some assistance with it. So the first thing you want to do for this situation is you want to develop the Venn diagram. So if we look at the description, it says, a survey of 300 parks showed the following. 15 had only camping, 20 had only hiking trails, 35 had only picnicking, 185 had camping, 140 had camping and hiking, 125 had camping and picnicking, and 210 had hiking. Okay, so this is actually a pretty tough one because they did not describe the region in which all 3 events happen, and so that makes it a little tougher to complete the problem. But you always want to start by developing a Venn diagram. So we're going to do that by drawing a rectangle. This represents the universal set. So in this case, the universal set would be parks. So when we add up everything at the end, we should definitely have 300 parks. If we don't, then we've got a mistake. Now we've got 3 things going on here. We've got camping, so we're going to make a bubble for camping. We have hiking, so we need a hiking bubble. We have picnicking, so we need a picnic bubble. And then the outside of the bubbles represents parks that don't have camping or hiking or picnicking. So probably not a lot, but it could happen. Okay, so let's pick this apart one step at a time. So if you read your first sentence, it said 15 had only camping. Okay, so only camping is going to be in the camping bubble, but it cannot be included in the hiking bubble or the parking bubble. So only camping has to happen outside of the hiking and outside of the picnic bubble. Okay. 20 had only hiking. So again, it has to go in your hiking bubble, but cannot be included in your camping bubble or your picnic bubble. 35 had only picnicking. So it's got to go in the picnic bubble, but it can't be part of camping or hiking. Okay. Now, it said 185 had camping. Okay, so that means if you took the entire camping bubble, you would get 185 in that bubble. The problem is you do not know what is going in the camping and hiking, in the all 3 zone, or in the camping and picnicking. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put little letters in there. I'm going to have X, Y, and Z because I'm not very creative. Okay, so I know if I took 15 plus the X plus the Y and plus the Z, that would be all of my camping, which is 185 parks. That's as far as I can go with that one for right now, so I'm going to have to work with something else. Okay, so let's see what the next sentence said. The next sentence says that 140 had camping and hiking. So camping and hiking is going to be this little middle wedge right here, the X plus the Y. So I know that the X plus the Y needs to be 140. So I can actually use that over in my other equation. I know that X plus Y has to be 140. So I know that 15 plus 140 plus Z is 185. So if I take 15 plus 140, I'm going to get 155 plus Z equals 185. And then if I subtract 155 from both sides, I know that Z has to be 30. Okay, so I can replace this Z with 30. I still don't know what X and Y is yet, so I'm kind of stuck there. So let's try a different clue. Okay, the different clue says 125 had camping and picnicking. So camping and picnicking is going to be the wedge between the 30 and the Y. So I know if I take the 30 and the Y together, that I should get 125. So if I subtract 30 from both sides, then that's going to tell me that Y has to be 95. So I can take out the little triple region, and I can call that 95. Now that's also going to let me figure out what the X is, because I know that X plus Y is 140. So if I take 140 and deduct the 95, I'll be able to figure out my X, which is 45. So I can take the little X out and put in 45. Okay, last clue. Last clue says 210 had hiking trails. So that means if you take the entire hiking bubble, that the entire hiking bubble should add up to be 210. So if you take 45 and 20 and 95 and that unknown bubble, which I'm just going to call W, those should all add up to be 210. Okay, so let's add those up. 45, 20, and 95 make 160. And then if I subtract 160 from each side, I will know what the little W bubble is. The W bubble should be 50. So I can replace the little W with 50. Now, you're not done. You're not done because it said that they surveyed 300 parks. So you need to make sure that when you add all those numbers together, they add up to be 300. If they don't, then you're going to have to put a number outside of the bubbles. So let's add them together. 15, 45, 20, 30, 95, 50, and 35. Okay, if you add those all up, that equals 290. Okay, that's not 300. So that means there were 10 parks that had features besides camping, hiking, and picnicking. Okay, now I am going to copy this picture because I'm going to use it on the next page. Okay, so now that we have our Venn diagram, we can actually start answering our questions. So the first question says, determine the number of parks that had at least one of these features. Let's make this a little smaller. Okay, so we want at least one of these features. So that means it could have just one of the features. It could have two of the features, or it could have all three of the features. So basically anything that lands in one of the bubbles has at least one of the features. So if you add up all the numbers in the bubbles, which we did previously, then you will know how many had at least one feature, and that should be 290. Question B. Determine the number of parks that had all three features. So again, if you look at your drawing, all three features is going to be dead center. So the number that had all three features is 95. Question C. Determine the number of parks that did not have any of these features. So to not have any of the features means that you need to be on the outside of the bubbles. You cannot be inside of the bubbles. So how many items were on the outside? That would be the 10 that was on the outside. D, determine the number of parks, that had exactly 2 of these features. So to have exactly 2 of the features, you need to be in the double zone, but not the triple zone. So that would be your 45, your 30, and your 50. So 125 had exactly 2 of the features. I hope this helped. Let me know if you have any more questions.